I saw a video of a man on this app talking about, I don't understand why black people are upset that white people want to create their own town and not allow them in it. Who? Who's upset? Because I don't know a single black person. I don't know a single Jewish person. I don't know a single gay person or any person of color who is upset and fighting against this. If anything, I've seen support for it. Like people of color, black people are like, I'll help you pack. I'll help you pack. You can go over there. That's fine. I don't really care. I'll help you. Because the less racist reveal them, the more racist reveal themselves and want to separate from everyone, the better it is for us, because we no longer have to worry about interacting with you guys in public. We don't have to keep watching our backs. For me personally, I don't have a problem with blatant, open, racist people, because at least I can see you. I can see who you are, so I can stay away from you. The people that scare me, the racists that scare me, are the ones who hide it so well, the ones who pretend. Those are the ones who scare me. If you're open and you're racist and you're living your life, okay, good for you. I'm staying away from you. But no, none of us are upset about white people wanting to live in their own town and exclude people of color and gay people. I don't know a single freaking person of color or black person who's upset. Who the fuck is upset? Because I know I'm not.
When y'all made that all-white town in Arkansas, how did y'all expect black people to react? Did y'all want us to like riot? Did you want us to like burn the city down, protest? How did y'all expect us to react? Because the reaction that you're getting is clearly not what you were looking for. Because if that would be the case, you wouldn't be trying to open up a whole nother city just like Arkansas. You know, we've been excluded from places pretty much for generations. So why the fuck would we care about being excluded from a town in West Bumblefuck? You're acting like we can't go to Miami or LA or fucking Atlanta. Bitch, we don't give a fuck about Arkansas. I ain't never even been to Arkansas, and I have no intentions on going there. Like, what the fuck? And like, think about it like this though. Like, y'all not even just excluding black people. Y'all excluding Jewish people, you know, people that could possibly look just like you guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like y'all trying to exclude y'all own people too at this point. So what y'all thought y'all was going, where y'all thought that was gonna go for y'all? You know what I mean? Or we trying to rage bait us, see if we gonna get out our body. I'm curious to see what kind of reaction y'all were hoping to get from us. You know what I mean? Because we don't really give a fuck.
I don't know why I see people like celebrating that old white town in Arkansas failed. Like, apparently, like, they were going to have a farm and then sell their products to, I guess, local markets and whatever, which is weird, because then you'll be trying to sell white only products to who? Because the non-racist white people are gonna look at y'all like, bitch, I'm not buying from you. And I hope you don't think any black, Latino, Asian, indigenous people are going to buy from you. But apparently that failed because the farming industry right now is flopping because of, you know, the lack of workers. So they're packing up and going to, I think they said Missouri or something like that. I hope they're trying to have a different game plan, because the farming industry in general is having a tough time. A lot of bankruptcies is like about to roll out. But yeah, y'all celebrating it like, and I'm mad. Like, I wanted y'all to have what y'all wanted so bad. Like, I wanted y'all to have the same amounts of rights that reservations have with the government and police and everything like that. We wanted y'all to have as much rights as them. You know, if people go missing from your little town, oh well, good luck finding them, because the police ain't gonna do it. Government don't care. I wanted y'all little exclusive town. Keep y'all asses over there, you know? Thug it out between yourselves, and let's see how really good at y'all are at creating a town that's for y'all by y'all. Also, without using any type of equipments that were created by any minority. Like, thug it out, y'all. I wanted them to really thug it out. See if their town was gonna be as civilized as possible, without, you know, becoming a cult and, you know, grooming and all that stuff that goes with it. I really want y'all to work out. I hope y'all do. Like, I really want it to work out. Like, I'm looking forward to the documentary, you know, true crime. I hope Missouri works out for y'all. Like, I'm so serious. Like, me personally, I like my races. Like, I know where y'all at. Ain't no fake liberal bullshit. Like, I really like y'all like that. Like, I'm happy for y'all. I hope your plan succeeds, and I'm so serious. Like, I can't wait for the Netflix documentary.
I need y'all to understand that those people do not intend to leave us alone in their little town in Arkansas. It's recently been in the news that some chalk children in America have decided to create their own whites-only town And when asked by a reporter, they made it seem as though that they intend to just have a town of their own and resources of their own and just live off the land, returning to the land. A land that they stole through crimes against humanity, but who's counting? Many brothers and sisters' take on this is, hey, we don't care if y'all have your own, just leave us alone in the process. I mean, every time we've tried to do that, y'all have burned our towns down. And I'm just here to tell y'all that unfortunately, they do not intend to leave us alone. In the interview with the colonizer that wants to found this whites-only town in Arkansas, they're making it seem as though they just want to live in peace. We must remember that these are people that have never known peace. They didn't know peace when they was by themselves in the ice-cold mountains of Europe, and they're not going to know peace in the middle of Arkansas. In the 70s, there was a black scholar that broke down white supremacy into an equation. The same way that E equals MC squared, white supremacy equals white power over non-white powerlessness. And so that means that white supremacy cannot live in an environment where non-white people have any form of power. Because if there's no non-white people around, who are they superior to? Nothing they have achieved has been achieved by leaving people alone. It's like if your son or daughter said they didn't want to live in the house anymore and locked themselves in their room. In order to eat, brush their teeth, or do anything, that child would have to come outside the room. And it's the same thing for them. At some point, they are going to need resources and labor, and that's when they turn to us. And if we have our own power and our own resources, then we have no reason to share with them. And that is when they destroy what we have so that we have to work with them. Don't be fooled. Just like the movie Sinners, it all starts out nice and pleasant, but they have ulterior motives.
Hot take, I don't have a problem with them having a white-only town or community. They have one already in Arkansas. It's a members-only community, and they're thinking about doing one in Missouri. But see, my only thing is, if you guys are going to do it, you need to do it the right way. Like, why stop at a town? You need an island. You know, somewhere you can escape the horrors of woke people and colored people and gay people that want basic human decency and equality and justice. Like, ew, you know? Somewhere far, I don't know, maybe the Epstein Island, you know? Since Trump did say he was a terrific guy, I think it's only fitting that you take your king with you and, you know, build the walls. You can keep all of us colored people and woke people out of it. And then that way you guys can live in the 1950s freely without us bothering you. But I don't know. That's just what I think. Let me know what you guys think. But yeah, I feel like you guys need to think bigger. Like, why would you want to be in a country that is so diverse? You need an island.
The real reason why they're building that little town, that all-white town in Arkansas, is not to be free from black folks or wokeness. It's to be free to walk into their daughters' rooms at night. It's to be free to knock their wives' heads between the washer and the dryer without any scrutiny. Because I follow creators who are former FDLS, Mennonite, Amish, all white, okay? And the way they will tell you, if they were to present their family tree, you would want to string lights around it, hang it on your door at Christmas time, because it's a goddamn wreath. They say a family that prays together stays together. They mean P-R-E-Y. I mean, sure, they want to be free to walk around and give their salutes to their friends and say, how would you like your coffee? And they'll say, nigga. You know what I mean? They want to do that. That's fine. But that often comes hand in hand with other forms of abuse. So, I mean, the founder effects that are going to be coming out of that village in a generation or two, definitely given but you know, I know some white folks are all up in arms and they're just outraged by pipe down Piper. Okay, you live in Portland, you live in an all white town. No, it doesn't matter which Portland, they're exactly the same.
You know, I really don't think anyone should be surprised by the fact that a whites-only community is popping up in Missouri. Racist white people are going to do racist shit, okay? Especially in the current political climate. We saw this last time when Trump was president. The racists felt emboldened. They kept doing more racial bullshit. There's plenty of stats for this. Go look it up yourself. You're a grown person. That being said, we know how it's going to end. All right, this is the same as every other cult that has popped up, because I do genuinely believe that racism runs so deep in people's minds, it indoctrinates them like a cult. Especially in white communities, because white parents pass down white supremacy onto their kids because they just never learned white patriarchal society. But it's one of those things that, and it's not excusable. That is not an excuse. I'm simply trying to say where it comes from. It's why so many white people talk about deconstruction, talk about going through all these things, because especially if you grew up in the Bible Belt, in a southern in like a Bible Belt small town, that is part of deconstructing from leaving a white town, a small town, is, oh fuck, everyone I knew was racist as shit, though. That was all racist shit they were saying. I do not feel bad for the adults one bit. They are full-grown adults. I don't give a fuck. They've been shamed. Look, they have been so successfully shamed out of society for their racist ass beliefs that they genuinely believe they have to set up their own community. That's beautiful to me. The only thing that I genuinely feel remorse for in the whole thing are the kids. We know how this is going to end here in 6 or 7 years. There's going to be a hell of a documentary about this, about all of the child abuse and all of the sexual abuse that is going to happen in these towns. That is the overwhelming factor that always happens in these white nationalist cults, is massive amounts of child abuse that the parents are going to cover up. The parents will never admit to putting their children around predators. They will never even come to terms with the fact that they are best friends with predators who are openly going to prey on their own children. They don't genuinely give a fuck about their kids. They never have. They never will. They just want to be racist. That's the end of it. They have no culture to protect. They have none of that shit. No, they just want to say racist shit and homeschool their kids and keep them racist and indoctrinate them. So we see exactly how this is going to play out, because it is played out this way in every other Christian community. Predators will rise to the top. The women and men around them will protect them. And here in about 6 to 10 years, you'll see a survivor come out saying, a kid that was born before they got into the cult. The kid that remembers life being kind of normal before their parents went off the deep end with Trump. Those kids will eventually come out and go, yeah, no, there's a ton of sexual abuse going on. There's a ton of child abuse. There's a ton of spousal abuse. And it's going to repeat because we have not successfully done a good enough job in getting these kind of people out of society. And that's the truth. They are so arrogant to their own actions, because it's not ignorance. Ignorance is more of, I'm doing things and I don't understand the consequence. They are blatantly doing things and ignoring consequence. That is arrogance. There is all the literature in the world you can read or even listen to or just engage in to break those cycles, and they refuse to do it. They're just going to keep the white quota going. And that's their goal at the end of the day. They want to maintain that power structure. They want to maintain that some white dude is on top of power. And that's what they want. So no, this, as disgusting as it is, it's not surprising in the least bit. Look at the current climate we are in. They are going to be trying to do this more and more because they feel emboldened. They know the government's on their side. They know that the entire controlling government is currently on the sides of racists and pedophiles. So of course they're going to be emboldened to do these awful things. Unless someone is going to go down there and stop it personally, it's never going to stop. We would need multiple John Browns at this point to even attempt to stop what is coming.
So I'm scrolling through the mean streets of TikTok and Twitter, and I'm minding my business, minding y'all business, right? But minding my business, you know what I'm saying? I'm minding y'all business, but I'm not making too much noise because I'm in somebody else's business, if that makes sense. And out of nowhere, the type of conversation comes up about the all-whites town in Arkansas. And I'm like, oh, shit. Let me lock the fuck in, because I know the farmers in Arkansas are struggling right now. They're having a hard time. And I literally just said last week that they have yet to put 2 and 2 together, that they have been basically used as a sacrifice. And where I got that from was the fact that, I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but like Bush, Barbara, and J.W. Bush or G.W. Bush, right? They own a farm. And they're making billions annually off this farm. Now, word on the curb is the way that they acquired the farm was nefarious, or it may be some other things going on in terms of the sale of said farm. So I'm like, okay, like I see the setup, I see what's going on. And immediately after I found out that both Google, or the owners of Google, that basically Bill Gates and JD Vance had something to do with like what's going on in Arkansas with the farmers losing everything and all the recent self-deletions of the farmers that was like whining and complaining because they going into bankruptcy. I know for a fact it's some shit jumping off in Arkansas. So that's not too far away from what has been happening with the new all whites town in Arkansas. Girl, tell me why. Y'all not gonna believe this. The all whites town in Arkansas ain't been open for a whole year. They already gotta move. I said, damn, already? No. Where? So they was like, yeah, girl, they broke. Turns out they never realized that the majority of the shit that they use on a daily basis was actually created by black folk. And a lot of the conveniences that they have in their life was created by people of color, black people included. So now that Arkansas is struggling in a farming sector, that was the foundation in which they was going to be living and building off of. They was just going to farm. And that's how they was going to get their money. And they was going to farm. They was going to take it to the local shops. They was going to sell it. And that was going to help them keep the shit alive. But since the farming sector in Arkansas is trash right now, they got to pick up and they got to move to Missouri. Girl, the all-whites town has already failed. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you. Because what kind of destiny was you trying to manifest? Even the manifest destiny that they spoke about in the doctrines in the United States, even that destiny that they spoke of, that they tried to manifest, baby, that destiny was manifested off the backs of everybody else's ancestors, not yours. And on top of that, to boot that, your ancestors used to marry children away at the age as young as 9 years old to be a wife. 9. You heard that correctly. Now, I did see the reports in which they were speaking about how their kids can grow up in a safe environment. Baby, the call is coming from inside of the house. And not only are your kids not in a safe environment, now y'all got to pick up all your shit, pick it up, and move y'all Caucasian haven to Missouri. Missouri. It's cold as hell in Missouri. And judging by the farming sector and the way things are going with those billionaires seeking to swipe up all the farms nationally from a bunch of farmers, baby, you may end up being nomadic. You may end up being nomadic. You may have to go from state to state, time to time. That's a cult. And when things are shaky like that, when they can't seem to stabilize the financial aspect of it, that's how you know you in a cult. When they got to pick you up and move you everywhere, and they got to keep reiterating the ideology and why you're doing this and this, that, and that's a cult. You're in a cult. That's a cult. And give it a little bit of time. But they will definitely be running up. The men in that community they will be running up into your nursery. They will be running up into your cradles because they don't want you. I mean, they'll take you, just a little quick pump, a little 1-2, but they want them babies. They want them babies. So, congratulations, you're in a cult. Everything that I've heard about this all-white town in Arkansas screams cult. Screams cult. And you guys have created an all-white town, but there's no Taco Tuesday. That alone would have, if I was white, that alone would have sent me over the edge. That alone would have been like, I'm out. Fuck that. Nope. I need my margaritas and my nachos. I need all that. Like, no. I want to see a little man in a poncho and a sombrero. I want to hear him singing traditionally Mexican songs. I need my Taco Tuesday. It's like the only thing keeping me sane right now. Okay? So, I'm out. I'm sorry. I'm out. I don't want to do this with you guys. And they done already ran out of money already. They can't, no Taco Tuesday. And y'all ain't got no money. And y'all got to move to Missouri out of all places. Chill.